A former slot technician just revealed which machines have the worst odds on the casino floor, and what he told me could save you thousands of dollars. Casinos strategically place these games in high-traffic areas because they know something you don't, and I'm going to expose exactly what that is. Plus, I'll reveal the two machines you should actually play at the end of this video. Machine number 1, Lightning Link, specifically the Happy Lantern variant. You've seen these machines. They dominate casino floors with their bright colors and that distinctive hold and spin feature everyone seems to love. But one variant is programmed for maximum player losses, and former employees know it. Here's what the internal data shows. The quarter denomination version typically runs between 86 and 87% RTP according to insider reports. That hold and spin bonus everyone chases? It triggers approximately once every 120 to 150 spins. When you finally hit it, the average payout sits between 12 and 20 times your bet. Let's break down what that actually means. If you're spinning at $2.50 per spin, you're spending somewhere between $300 and $375 just to trigger that bonus. Well, your reward? Somewhere between $30 and $50. The math doesn't work in your favor. A former employee named Marcus shared a case that stuck with him. He watched a regular player named Janet who came in every Friday afternoon. She'd sit at Happy Lantern for hours, convinced she was due for the grand jackpot. One particular Friday, Marcus documented her session through the player tracking system. Janet spent 4 hours at that machine, fed in $600 total. She triggered the hold and spin bonus 4 separate times. Each time the cabinet lit up, the music played, she collected her symbols. When those 4 bonuses were totaled up, she'd won back $180. She left that day having lost $420, but Marcus said she seemed almost happy because she'd hit the bonus multiple times. That's the trap. What makes this machine particularly insidious is how it manipulates your perception. You'll land 5 out of 6 symbols needed to trigger the bonus constantly. Your brain registers these near misses as almost winning. The visual design makes even minor wins feel significant with explosions of color and animation. The sound effects are identical whether you win 10 times your bet or 100 times your bet. Most players confuse bonus frequency with profitability. They remember hitting that feature 4 times and forget they spent $600 to win back $180. And if you think those bonus rounds are deceptive, wait until you hear about machine number 2. This one actually makes you feel like you're winning even when you're losing money on every single spin. Machine number 2, Wheel of Fortune, specifically the Triple Extreme Spin variant. This is probably the most recognized slot brand in any casino. You can spot those iconic wheel bonus toppers from across the floor. But the Triple Extreme Spin variant has the documented worst hold percentage in the entire Wheel of Fortune family, according to internal casino data. The numbers tell a brutal story. RTP sits between 85 and 87% based on reports from multiple former technicians. That wheel bonus everyone plays for triggers roughly once every 200 to 250 spins. When you finally hit it, 73% of wheel spins land on the minimum amounts. And that triple extreme modifier that the game is named after? It rarely activates. Documentation suggests approximately 8% of bonus triggers actually give you that multiplier. As casino surveillance documented a case that illustrates exactly how this plays out. A tourist named David arrived with $2,000 he'd specifically budgeted for gambling. He told the slot attendant that Wheel of Fortune was his lucky game. He'd won on it before at another casino. He chose Triple Extreme Spin because the name sounded like better odds. Surveillance footage showed David played for 6 hours straight. He hit the wheel bonus twice during that entire session. First spin landed on $50. Second spin landed on $75. When the casino closed at 4 a.m., David had lost $1,840 of his $2,000 budget. The slot attendant's report noted he seemed genuinely confused about how he'd lost so much when he'd hit the bonus. Here's what makes this machine psychologically manipulative. The brand familiarity creates false security. You've seen Wheel of Fortune your entire life. It feels trustworthy. The Triple Extreme name suggests better odds than the base game when the opposite is true. That wheel bonus feels skill-based because you press the button to spin it, creating an illusion that you have some control over the outcome. Near misses on the high-value wheel segments are programmed to occur frequently. Your brain registers almost hitting $5,000 the same way it registers almost winning the lottery, with hope instead of mathematical reality. Meanwhile, the base game gives you small wins every 8 to 12 spins, just enough to keep you feeding money and believing your luck is about to turn. But here's where it gets really insidious. Machine number 3 combines all these deceptive tactics with something even worse. It's specifically programmed to target players who just won on other machines. Wait until you hear how casinos use player tracking data with this one. Machine number 3, Buffalo Gold Revolution. The Buffalo Gold family generates more revenue per day than almost any other slot series in American casinos. Walk into any major property, and you'll find entire rows dedicated to these games. But the Revolution variant introduced in 2021 has programming changes that insider documentation reveals significantly reduced player advantage, and most people playing it have no idea they're not getting the same game they trusted for years. Before I reveal exactly what those changes are, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Have you ever walked away from a slot machine ahead? If so, which game was it? Here's what the technical documentation shows. Yes, the base game RTP dropped from 94% in the original Buffalo Gold down to between 86 and 88% in Revolution. That free spin bonus that players chase triggers less frequently now, approximately once every 180 spins compared to 120 to 150 spins in the original version. Those gold buffalo symbols you need for the big multipliers appear 40% less frequently during the free spins according to internal reports. The average bonus payout decreased from around 65 times your bet down to 35 times your bet. Same cabinet, same sounds, same visual appearance, completely different mathematical reality underneath. A former slot floor manager named Rebecca shared an internal memo that compared player performance data. There was a regular player named Tom who'd played the original Buffalo Gold 3 times a week for 2 years. Yet Tom typically lost between $200 and $400 per session, but he'd occasionally hit a good bonus round and walk away with $800 to $1,200. The casino tracked all of this through his player's card. When they replaced the older machines with Buffalo Gold Revolution, Tom kept playing in the same spot, same frequency, same betting pattern. Over the following 6 months, Tom's performance data told a different story. 0 winning sessions were documented. His average loss increased to $650 per visit. Rebecca said Tom eventually commented to her one evening, asking why his lucky machine had changed, completely unaware that the programming had been altered despite the identical appearance. The psychological manipulation here is particularly cruel. How the cabinet design and sounds are identical to the trusted original version. The Revolution name implies improvement, an upgrade, better features, not reduced player odds. The game maintains the same volatility feel during short sessions, so you can't tell something has changed just by playing for 30 minutes. Players attribute their losses to bad luck rather than fundamental programming differences. Casinos deliberately kept these machines in the same floor positions when they swapped them out, knowing regulars would return to their familiar spots and never question whether the game itself had been altered. And speaking of machines that look trustworthy but have hidden programming changes, machine number 4 has caused some employees to actually refuse to work on it. This one competes directly with Lightning Link for floor dominance. But according to multiple former technicians, the Panda Magic variant has the most predatory bonus structure in the entire Dragon Link family. Machine number 4, Dragon Link, specifically the Panda Magic variant. Dragon Link cabinets sit right alongside Lightning Link on practically every casino floor in America. They're manufactured by the same company and share that distinctive hold and spin mechanic that pulls players in. But according to multiple former technicians, Panda Magic has the most predatory bonus structure in the entire Dragon Link family, and the internal data backs up why employees developed such strong feelings about this particular game. The technical specifications tell you everything you need to know about the mathematics working against you. Base RTP sits at 86% on the penny denomination, which happens to be the most common version casinos install. The hold and spin bonus triggers at a similar frequency to Lightning Link. But there's a crucial difference in how the feature actually pays out. Those mystery prizes on the symbols predominantly award minimum values. Internal documentation suggests the distribution heavily favors the lowest tier. The grand jackpot on penny denomination requires all 15 positions to be filled, and the probability sits at approximately 1 in 3,500 bonus triggers. Former technicians report that players spend an average of $400 to $600 between grand jackpot hits, if they hit it at all during their session. Technical documents include a report from an employee named James about a situation that clearly bothered him enough to document it officially. An elderly player named Helen visited the casino every Tuesday afternoon with her Social Security check, $1,400 per month. Helen played exclusively Panda Magic because she believed the panda imagery brought her luck. Over 8 months, James had access to surveillance footage and player tracking data that told the complete story. Helen triggered that hold and spin bonus 47 times across those 8 months. She never hit the grand jackpot. Only twice did she win more than $100 in a single bonus round. James included in his report that Helen stopped coming to the casino after those 8 months, and he later learned from other employees that she could no longer afford her prescription medications. What makes this machine particularly manipulative goes beyond just the mathematics. The panda theming appears friendly and lucky. It taps into cultural associations that feel positive and hopeful rather than predatory. Those hold and spin symbols land frequently enough that you feel like you're controlling something, like your decisions about when to press the button matter. Each symbol reveals its prize with a distinct animation, and your brain registers this as winning even when the prize is the minimum value. Those progressive jackpot meters climb visibly on the screen, creating the psychological impression that they're due to hit, that someone has to win them eventually, so why not you? The bonus round itself lasts between 45 and 90 seconds, long enough that you lose track of time, long enough that you forget how much you spent to trigger it. Now, you might be thinking these machines are bad because of low RTP percentages or infrequent bonus triggers. But machine number 5 has something even more insidious. It's programmed with what industry insiders call losses disguised as wins. And one player's story with this machine is particularly heartbreaking. In fact, this is the story that convinced me I needed to make this video and share this information with you. Machine number 5. Mystical Unicorn, manufactured by IGT. This is a classic game that's been sitting on casino floors for over a decade now. You'd think an older game would be safer, more trustworthy, grandfathered in with better programming from an earlier era. But internal documentation from former employees reveals that Mystical Unicorn has the highest LDW percentage, that's losses disguised as wins, of any major slot game still in active circulation across American casinos. The base RTP actually appears reasonable at first glance, somewhere between 92 and 94% according to the specifications. But here's what that number doesn't tell you. 47% of so-called winning spins actually return less than your bet amount. Let me give you a concrete example of how this plays out. You bet $5 on a spin. The reels land. Music plays, lights flash, unicorns dance across the screen in celebration. Your win? 20 cents. The machine just took $4.80 from you while making you feel like you won something. Player tracking data shows that the average session loss sits around $380, but when players are surveyed afterward, they report that they won a lot of small amounts throughout their time playing. Their perception and the mathematical reality exist in completely different universes. That free spin bonus triggers once every 90 to 120 spins, which sounds reasonable, but it only averages an 18 times bet return. Players require an average of 280 to 300 spins before they consciously recognize they're losing money. And by that point, they've usually invested far more than they intended. Here's the story I mentioned at the start. A former casino host named Patricia documented a case that affected her deeply enough that she included extensive details in her report. A player named Sarah, 34 years old, worked as a teacher. Sarah received an $8,500 settlement from a minor car accident. Nothing serious, just compensation for time and inconvenience. She visited the casino planning to play conservatively, maybe spend a few $100s over the course of an evening. She chose Mystical Unicorn specifically because she'd played it before and remembered winning lots of small amounts. Patricia's report shows that Sarah played for 11 hours straight, continuously adding money to the machine because she kept winning. Sarah hit the free spins bonus 7 times throughout the night. She experienced dozens and dozens of winning spins, complete with celebration music and graphics. When the casino closed at 4 in the morning, security had to ask Sarah to leave. She'd lost $8,200 of her settlement money. Patricia's report includes a note that Sarah seemed genuinely confused, telling the security guard that she didn't understand how she'd lost so much when she won so many spins. This case was actually shared in internal training sessions as a textbook example of how LDW programming affects player perception and behavior. The psychological manipulation built into this machine operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Every winning spin triggers identical celebration regardless of the amount. The same music, the same flashing lights, the same animated unicorns prancing across the screen whether you won 20 cents or $20. The win counter displays your gross wins without showing your net profit, so you see numbers accumulating without clear context about what you've spent. Your session total gets obscured by the constant stream of small wins. Psychologically, your brain registers win frequency rather than win amount. The game is deliberately programmed to make returns of 15 to 20% feel like victories. Those bonus rounds feel significant and exciting when they trigger, but mathematically, they barely reduce the house edge. Stacked symbols create frequent multi-line wins where 5 or 6 different pay lines hit simultaneously, generating massive celebration on screen. But when you total up all those lines, you've still won less than you bet on that spin. And if you think that's psychologically manipulative, machine number 6 was actually the subject of an internal ethics complaint from multiple employees. Here's why this one crossed a line that made people working in the industry uncomfortable enough to formally object. Machine number 6, 88 Fortunes, specifically the penny denomination version. This is one of the most popular Asian-themed slots in American casinos. You'll find these machines prominently displayed in high-traffic areas with their distinctive red and gold cabinets and constant celebratory sounds. But the penny denomination version has the documented lowest RTP in the entire 88 Fortunes family, and casino floor managers know it. That's precisely why they place these machines in specific, calculated locations. The technical specifications reveal the mathematical trap. Penny denomination RTP sits between 85 and 86% according to internal data. Here's the deception that catches most players. The game requires betting all features, which means an 88-cent minimum bet, to have any realistic chance at the jackpots. Players think they're betting pennies when they're actually betting 88 cents per spin. That's not clearly disclosed anywhere on the cabinet exterior. The FUBAT jackpot bonus triggers approximately once every 350 spins. When it finally does trigger, 78% of outcomes award the mini jackpot, which pays only 10 to 12 times your bet. The grand jackpot probability sits at approximately 1 in 180,000 spins at minimum bet levels. Internal data shows the average player loses $340 during a 3-hour session, but they often don't realize it because the denomination says penny slots. Documentation from a former floor supervisor named Michael includes an internal complaint that he and 2 other employees filed about machine placement strategy. As casino management deliberately positioned penny denomination 88 Fortunes machines directly between high-traffic pathways and bathrooms, specifically targeting what internal memos called casual players who just want to play a few spins. Michael's complaint included a specific case that illustrated why he felt this crossed an ethical line. An elderly woman on an oxygen tank stopped at one of these 88 Fortunes machines for just a few minutes, while her husband played craps across the casino floor. Surveillance footage showed she ended up playing for 90 minutes, continuously feeding bills into the acceptor. She'd lost $440 by the time her husband finally found her. Michael's report noted she was crying when security brought her to his office, repeating that she thought she was only betting pennies and didn't understand how she'd spent so much money so quickly. The psychological manipulation operates through carefully constructed deception. The exterior signage says penny slot in large letters, which is technically true but functionally misleading since the minimum meaningful bet is 88 cents. The Asian cultural symbolism built into every visual element, the number 88 represents prosperity and good fortune in Chinese culture, creates false associations with luck and positive outcomes. The denomination displays as 1 cent on the machine exterior and in promotional materials. The requirement to bet all features to activate the jackpots is buried deep in the pay table screens that most players never examine. Meanwhile, each frequent small wins return 10 to 15 cents on your 88-cent bet. But they trigger celebration sounds and graphics that maintain engagement and obscure the fact that you're losing money on nearly every spin. Those jackpot meters are visible from across the entire casino floor, creating fear of missing out as you watch them climb. The Fu Bat bonus trigger sound is specifically engineered to be audible from 30 feet away, attracting nearby players who hear someone winning. Now we're getting to the final machine on this list, and this one is particularly concerning because it represents a disturbing new trend in slot machine design. Several former casino employees stated this machine made them feel actively guilty watching players lose. And when you hear the specific case that convinced one technician to leave the industry entirely, you'll understand why this represents everything wrong with modern slot programming. Machine number 7, Cash Eruption, manufactured by Aristocrat. Introduced in 2019, this machine represents what industry insiders describe as next-generation loss optimization. According to technical documentation from former employees, Cash Eruption incorporates multiple predatory elements from older games, while adding new psychological manipulation tactics specifically designed to extend playing time and maximize losses per session. The technical specifications paint a disturbing picture of intentional design. Base RTP ranges between 85 and 87% across all denominations. The machine features what's called a boosted bonus mechanic, where you collect special symbols over multiple spins to increase your bonus potential. Here's the trap. That collection progress completely resets if you stop playing, as the game creates a never-ending carrot dangling just out of reach. Internal data indicates the average player must invest between $200 and $300 to complete just one collection cycle. When you finally do complete it and trigger the bonus round, your return averages only 25 to 40 times your bet. The free games feature triggers once every 180 to 200 spins. During those free games, you get an eruption of wild symbols spreading across the reels, but the internal programming ensures these eruptions predominantly happen on lower-value symbol combinations. Player tracking data reveals the average session length sits at 4.2 hours, significantly longer than older slot machines were able to achieve. The average loss per session comes in at $520. Thus, a former slot technician named Kevin shared a particularly disturbing case that ultimately convinced him to leave the industry after 12 years. The documented case involved a woman named Linda, 58 years old, who'd recently received a $35,000 life insurance payout after her husband's death. Linda came to the casino 3 weeks after the funeral and started playing Cash Eruption. Kevin's detailed report notes she played for 14 hours across 2 consecutive days, becoming fixated on completing the boosted bonus collection meter. Surveillance footage showed Linda barely left the machine even for bathroom breaks. She declined multiple food offers from staff. Every time she'd complete the collection and win $400 to $600, she'd immediately start working on the next collection cycle. But when Kevin's shift ended on the second day, Linda had lost $28,000 of that life insurance money. Kevin filed an internal report expressing serious concern about how the collection mechanic was affecting player psychology and behavior. The management response came back within 48 hours. Player behavior is not our responsibility. Kevin quit 3 weeks later. He noted in his exit interview that this specific incident was never flagged by any of the casino's responsible gaming protocols despite lasting 14 hours and involving such catastrophic losses. The psychological manipulation built into this machine operates on several calculated levels. That collection mechanic creates what behavioral psychologists call completion anxiety, a direct exploitation of the sunk cost fallacy. Yet the progress meter remains visible on your screen at all times, creating a sense of obligation to continue playing until you finish what you started. The term boosted implies you're getting better odds or improved payouts when the opposite is mathematically true. The fact that your collection progress resets if you leave the machine creates a psychological trap where taking a break feels like losing your investment. The total loss amount required to complete a collection cycle isn't disclosed anywhere in the game interface or pay table. Those eruption visual effects with volcanoes and explosions create excitement and celebration regardless of whether your actual win amount is significant. The free games feel more frequent than they mathematically are because collection triggers create the illusion of bonus frequency. Most insidiously, if the game actively punishes players for taking breaks or stepping away, and session length optimization was clearly prioritized over any consideration of entertainment value or player well-being. Kevin's story represents a disturbing trend in modern slot manufacturing where metrics like time on device and average bet velocity take priority over player experience. But here's the thing casinos don't want you knowing. Not all machines are programmed this way. Some older games still exist on casino floors with genuinely better odds and far less psychological manipulation. And I'm about to tell you which two you should actually play. Before I reveal those two machines, let me explain why they're different and how you can verify this information yourself the next time you're in a casino. This is important because it gives you actual power to make informed decisions. Older game designs, particularly those manufactured before 2015, generally have RTP percentages ranging from 92 to 96%. These games feature simpler bonus structures, which makes the odds more transparent and verifiable. They contain significantly less psychological manipulation programming because they were designed before manufacturers had access to decades of behavioral data. They weren't optimized for time on device the way modern machines are. Many of these older games maintain established player bases, which means casinos keep them on the floor despite generating lower revenue per square foot than newer machines. Here's how you can identify better machines when you walk into any casino. Look for older cabinet designs. They're bulkier, less sleek, with minimal LED lighting compared to the modern curved screen video walls. Seek out games without collection mechanics, progress bars, or multi-stage features that reset. Simpler themes work in your favor. Classic fruit symbols, basic Vegas imagery, straightforward designs without elaborate animated characters or story elements. The fewer bonus variations and stages a machine has, generally, the better your odds. Physical real machines are extremely rare now, but when you find them, they typically offer the highest RTP percentages still available. You can also ask casino hosts specific questions. Which machines have been here the longest? Do you have any games with physical reels still on the floor? Which games have the simplest bonus rounds without collection features? But most hosts will answer honestly because they're not invested in steering you toward high-hold machines. Now I need to be absolutely clear about something before I reveal these two better options. Even these machines still have a house edge built in. The casino always wins in the long term. That's mathematical certainty, not pessimism. These are simply less predatory options if you choose to gamble. Never bet money you cannot afford to lose. Set strict limits before you start playing, and stick to them regardless of whether you're winning or losing. Okay, here's machine number one you should actually consider playing. Double Diamond, the IGT Classic. This is one of the oldest slot designs still in circulation on modern casino floors. Double Diamond represents traditional slot gaming from before the era of modern psychological optimization. According to industry data and reports from former employees, this machine has one of the highest RTP percentages and most transparent odds of any game you'll find in a casino today. The RTP sits between 94 and 96%, which ranks among the highest available anywhere. It's a three-reel design, either mechanical or video simulation of mechanical reels. There are 9 possible pay lines in a simple, completely visible structure. The pay table is clearly displayed on the machine and easy to understand. No hidden screens or complicated multi-stage explanations. There are no bonus rounds, no collection mechanics, no hidden features to discover. Your win frequency sits at approximately 12 to 15% of spins, which represents honest volatility without artificial manipulation. Yes, the maximum payout is 2,500 times your bet. modest compared to the progressive jackpots advertised on newer machines, but actually achievable within realistic playing sessions. There are no progressive jackpots and no misleading must-hit-by promises. The betting structure stays simple, typically $1 to $3 per spin. Every possible outcome is visible right there on the pay table. There's no hidden programming or secret trigger frequencies you need to discover through hours of play. What makes Double Diamond genuinely better comes down to transparency. Every possible winning combination is displayed on the pay table, where you can see it before you bet a single dollar. There's no hidden programming or proprietary algorithms to figure out. The winning combinations are based on traditional slot mathematics that's been around for decades. There's no LDW programming making you think you're winning when you're actually losing. Win celebrations are proportional to your actual win amount. Small wins get small celebrations, big wins get big celebrations. The game doesn't punish you for taking breaks or playing slowly. There are no collection progress meters or features that reset if you walk away. You can actually calculate the approximate house edge yourself just by studying the pay table for a few minutes. Technical documentation from a former IGT technician named Robert explains why Double Diamond remains available despite generating lower revenue than modern machines. These games are grandfathered in from the 1990s. That casinos have to maintain a certain number of them for players who refuse to play newer machines. The RTP is locked at the factory level. Individual casinos can't reduce it like they can with newer server-based games. We'd regularly get requests from management to replace these with newer, higher-earning games, but regular players would complain loudly enough that it created customer service issues. The casino keeps them in low-traffic areas as a compromise. Players who find these machines and stick with them have significantly better odds than 90% of the other games on the floor. Here's practical advice for finding them next time you visit a casino. Look for older, bulkier machine cabinets, usually positioned in corners or near less popular table games. They won't have fancy curved screens or elaborate animated characters. Thus, the cabinets are basic and utilitarian, often with physical buttons rather than touchscreens. If you see simple fruit symbols or classic diamond imagery with a straightforward 3-reel display, you've likely found a better option than the elaborate video slots dominating the main floor. Now here's the second machine you should actually consider, and this one gives you something almost no slot machine can offer: the ability to affect your outcome through skill. Hashtag Act 6 Machine Number 2. You should actually play jacks or better video poker. Specifically, the full pay 9/6 version. Technically, this isn't a slot machine, but you'll find it in the slot sections of virtually every casino, often tucked away near the bars or in quieter corners of the floor. Jacks or better offers something that almost no modern slot machine can provide. Your skill as a player actually affects the outcome. According to gaming mathematics experts and former casino employees, full pay 9/6 versions offer the best odds of any machine-based gambling available in casinos today. The RTP sits at 99.54% when played with optimal strategy. That means the house edge is less than half of 1%, bringing you nearly even with the casino itself. The 9/6 designation is critical. It means a full house pays 9 for 1 and a flush pays 6 for 1. You need to verify these numbers on the pay table before you insert a single dollar, because many casinos offer reduced versions that significantly increase the house edge. 5 cards are dealt to you on the screen, and you choose which ones to hold and which to discard. Outcomes are based on standard poker hand rankings, completely transparent and verifiable. The house edge of only 0.46% with perfect play makes this dramatically better than any slot machine on the floor. The pay table stays permanently displayed on screen where you can see it. There are no hidden bonuses, no surprise triggers, no collection mechanics that reset. Strategy cards are legal to use while you play. You can literally hold a chart in your hand and reference it for every decision. The maximum payout is 4,000 coins for a royal flush, clear and consistent across all machines. What separates video poker from slots is the skill element that actually matters. Your decisions directly impact the outcome in ways that are mathematically provable. An optimal strategy reduces the house edge to under 1%, something impossible with slot machines. The mathematics are completely transparent and verifiable by independent experts. There's no psychological manipulation programming trying to confuse you. Your win frequency sits at approximately 45%, meaning nearly half of all hands return some money to you. There are no losses disguised as wins mechanisms. When you win, and when you lose, you lose. You control the pace of the game completely. Casinos cannot alter the programming of individual machines below the full pay structure without it being visible in the pay table. Strategy charts are widely available online and completely legal to reference while playing. Here's the critical qualifier you need to understand. You must find the full pay 9-6 version and play with optimal strategy. Many casinos offer reduced pay tables like 8-5 or 7-5 that dramatically increase the house edge and eliminate your advantage. Always check the pay table before inserting money. The full house should pay 9 for 1 and the flush should pay 6 for 1. Those numbers need to be exact. You also need to study basic strategy before you play. Optimal strategy charts are available free online. Playing instinctively, or based on gut feeling, rather than mathematical strategy, adds 2 to 3% to the house edge, completely eliminating the advantage these machines offer. Full pay machines are increasingly rare, but they still exist if you know where to look. Check older casinos in downtown areas rather than newer resort properties on the Strip. Look for video poker machines with physical buttons rather than touchscreens. Higher denominations like quarters and dollars are more likely to have full pay versions than penny denominations. Casino hosts can sometimes direct you to full pay machines if you ask specifically about 9-6 jacks or better, though some properties have removed them entirely in recent years. So let's recap what we've covered today. 7 machines you should avoid at all costs. Lightning Link Happy Lantern with its deceptive hold and spin math. Wheel of Fortune Triple Extreme Spin with its 73% minimum payout rate on the bonus wheel. Buffalo Gold Revolution with its reduced RTP that players don't realize changed. Dragon Link Panda Magic with its predatory jackpot structure. Mystical Unicorn with the highest losses disguised as wins programming still in circulation. 88 Fortunes. Penny Denomination with its misleading betting requirements. And Cash Eruption with its collection mechanics specifically designed to trap players. All of these have documented low RTP percentages, predatory psychological programming, or deceptive bonus structures that work against you. And 2 machines you should consider instead. Double Diamond for simple, honest slot gaming with transparent odds, and 9-6 jacks, or better video poker, for the absolute best odds available on the casino floor when played with proper strategy. But remember something crucial here. Even the best machines still have a house edge built into them. This information helps you make more informed choices, but it doesn't change the fundamental truth that casinos are mathematically designed to take your money over time. Gamble responsibly, set strict loss limits before you start, and never chase losses hoping to get even. If this video helped you understand what's really happening on the casino floor, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future content. Let me know in the comments. Have you played any of these 7 machines I warned you about? Did you have similar experiences to the cases I described? Or have you found other machines with surprisingly good odds that I didn't cover? I read every comment, and your experiences help other viewers make better decisions. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there.